Right. I've got like a couple minutes and then I have to get class started. So I'm going to be a little fast today. We are continuing our exploration of movements inside the United States, really around what we would call the industrial era. So mid 1800s, westward expansion, industrialization, kind of the summary of the United States. Now, the cool thing about that is we can actually use an umbrella term to really cover all the things going on. So far we've talked about industrialization, westward expansion, the Second Middle Passage. Today we're going to talk about kind of the umbrella concept of it, and that's called the Second Great Awakening, okay? Which sounds like really kind of cultish, not gonna lie. But it was a huge movement inside the United States. Inside the Second Great Awakening, what we find is a direct correlation or a connection inside the United States, blending together religion, society, and government, okay? So there, at this time, if you recall, part of the reason that the Revolutionary War even took place was the escape for religious liberties, all right? Out of the Church of England, we want to practice our own religion, right? So that theme continues into the middle 1800s when we're looking at the Second Great Awakening. What we see is a renaissance of religion, of belief, of experimentation, of faith, right? And for the sake of conversation, the primary religion we're looking at this time is Christianity inside the United States. However, it looks different than how it originated. Originally, the United States would have been full bore, closely connected with like the Puritan lifestyle, meaning that the Puritans had this belief that from birth, it is already predetermined. Here's who gets to go to heaven. Here's who doesn't. Your works doesn't matter. It is what it is. Deal with it. These are the cards that you're dealt. Okay. So we refer to these individuals as Calvinists, this belief in what's also referred to as predenomination or predestination, saying that it's already been set up. You have no control over it. The end. Well, in the middle 1800s, we get a radical new concept coming in called evangelicalism, this concept. And what that amounts to is it's the opposite of this Calvinistic approach. And what that means is people believed it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you do, all people have the choice to do the right thing, whatever that may be, in order to inherit this new concept, this faith, this belief, this redemption, this salvation, if you will. Well, the reason that's so important in the history of the United States in the middle 1800s isn't so much waving this flag of saying this is the specific religion of the United States. It's not so much that. It's when people start to get this notion, this idea of like all people have an opportunity. We need to look at who all people is. So what becomes very fascinating about this is you start seeing changes within society. Now you have these groups coming up that are saying if all people have this opportunity, then we should extend it to all people. What that means is now you have more people that are sitting back saying, now wait, time out. Based on what we believe, it doesn't matter if you're white or if you're black, you both have equal opportunities. So now within society, there starts to get this seeping sensation of soaking in, saying, maybe we should actually question our institutions of slavery because based on our religion, we're saying that individuals who are slaves are people too. So why aren't we treating them like that? So we start to get that concept, that build up really in the middle 1800s. The other thing is women become very prevalent inside the church. And no, we're not talking about just baking casseroles. In some instances, they become literally leaders inside multiple church gatherings as well, which becomes big, a very big deal because at the same time, women are starting to be introduced into the workforce also. Recall the Industrial Revolution. So women are becoming more prevalent inside things in society. So there starts to become what's called suffrage movements of saying treat women equally to men. They should be able to vote. They should be able to own land. They should be able to hold jobs. This all stems from it as well. So really in the Second Great Awakening, you get a multitude of things. You get the Industrial Revolution. You get westward expansion, this concept of like go, 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 go. The religious piece is huge. The other piece about the religion that should be amplified here is evangelicalism, the concept of it inside the United States. It doesn't reach the upper class. It's a religion that was designed for the poor, which means all those folks moving west that are like, I don't have anything to offer. I'm going to go like eat my uncle in the Rocky Mountains for cannibalism because we got stuck in the snow, but hey, I want a plot of land. Those folks now have the opportunity to have this salvation as well, which is great because now it's breaking down a barrier of wealth also. So that's an important piece with religion. And because of this religious movement, then we start getting bigger movements in the United States of social reform or social change, such as women in the workplace, women inside religious institutions being active in that. And we all, arguably one of the biggest things we get from this is if the belief is all people have this opportunity to practice this religion, then that also means that we have to recognize who all people are. So now you start to get the abolitionist movement. And the abolitionist movement simply is this: slavery should not exist. The institution is horrible. We should remove it. We should break away from it. We should end it. So now through the Second Great Awakening, this revolution or reform of belief in spiritual matters, because of that, you now start to get different groups saying maybe we should reevaluate our priorities and how we're working the system. Now, does this mean it puts an end to slavery right then, right there? No, it's going to take arguably another 20, 40, almost 60 years for that to take place. And we need to extend that all the way to the modern day because we still have impacts of slavery to this very day. But no, the Second Great Awakening is where the United States really starts to see and hear the voices of people saying, we may not be doing the right thing because of what we believe. So, Second Great Awakening. Recap real fast. You get a multitude of things. If Second Great Awakening is the umbrella term or this idea, this big idea, underneath it you get the Second Industrial Revolution or the American Revolution. You get westward expansion. You get social reform movements such as women in the workplace, women's suffrage, abolitionism, right? You get all of that. And then you also get a religious movement that is a strict breakaway from the religious practices that had already been established in the United States for years with the Puritans. Now you have a new movement of saying it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you have or what you don't have, all people have this equal opportunity. Okay? There you go. Pause and rewind is necessary because there's a lot of little pieces in there, right? Yeah, Second Great Awakening. Ta-da! Okay, I'm gonna leave now. Cool.